Yeah. What's good? It's be the G Shaw Cypher. You officially tuned in the Underground Movers podcast. We support anybody that's out there grinding. We do what we do on a daily basis because people out there doing what they do on a daily basis and they want to talk about it. You get what I'm saying? They want to let people know that they out here grinding in whatever genre or whatever field or whatever they got going on in that, in the space in the world that they want to try to conquer. You know what I mean? So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to a dude that's been doing his thing in a different type of space, in a different type of field, grinding, of course, consistently grinding. So you already know what it is, Shaw Cypher. Let me bring up my homie Spoken V right now. What's good, Jay?
What's happening, Cypher?
What's going on? Yo, first of all, I appreciate you taking the time out to spend with us. You know what I mean? Because you can be anywhere in the world, but you with us. You know what I'm saying? Um, so really introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself to the world and let us know where you from.
Spoken V, Brian Hardy, out of Maryland, and I'm a poet, author, and I make music.
Dope, a poet, you're an author, and you make music. That's dope. So talk about the poetry. How did that start?
Oh man, it's been on and off all my life, but it just started, just writing and doing poetry shows and open mics,
Yeah,
and it just turned to something that went to music, and it just escalated.
I hear that. You know what I mean? One thing about music, a lot of it starts off with poetry. People kind of forget the poetry aspect of the music business. So really just of making, putting words together and really making something out of it, to deliver a message. You know what I mean? So how was that important for you to start at that standpoint from a poetry standpoint?
Exactly what you said, man. You can do anything with poetry. You can go speak, you can talk to kids, you can go to churches, you can do weddings. I mean, it's just a lot you can do. It
Right.
plays on people's emotions and the words of it.
Right. Now, when it comes to writing poetry, is there like specific topics that you stay on, given the possibilities of it, or do you kind of mix it depending on your vibe?
I mix it up. It just all depends. I've done various things. A lot of it is like love, regular stuff. It might be spiritual. But for the main part, I mean, there's so many topics. It's nothing you really can't do with poetry.
Right.
People can be going through something at work and write a poem about it. But I don't do that personally, but I've seen so much. I mean, it's really nothing you can't do. I've done a lot of things with suicide and depression.
Right.
It's pretty much anything you can think of.
Yeah. Well, and that's dope. And nowadays, there's people out there that need to hear, some encouraging words or something that brings them back to reality sometimes. Some people hear some things and be like, man, I really needed to hear that. And it might be a reality. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
never know. You never know. So, so talk about, how you really, how the upbringing in Maryland. You said you out in Maryland. How did the upbringing, lead you into the poetry field that you in right now?
Oh man, as long as I can remember, I grew up reading a lot of books and a lot of poetry books from Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou. Being in school, it always interested me. I went into rapping, and then a lot of years I didn't do any of it. So it's just one of them things where I came back to and I heard different people. It's been throughout the years. You had what Def Poetry Jam back in the day.
Right,
You
right.
had rappers like DMX. You had a lot of different stuff. So it's just something. At one point, I met somebody, and they was doing a lot of spoken words and a lot of spoken word shows.
Yeah.
And I went and I seen what it was about, and I was like, wow. And when I went to the guy the first time to actually put a beat over mine, he said, and this was years ago, he said, why don't you, make a song to it? And through writing that, I got back into making songs. So it's just weird. It just one of those things that just escalated, man. But it wasn't really growing up in Maryland. I grew up in Maryland, but I'm originally from Virginia, so it's kind of weird. So I had like both places.
Okay.
So
Got a
it's
mix.
just, huh?
So you got a mix.
Yeah, it's a weird mixture.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Um, So you said at one point, you know what I mean, there was a time when you didn't do any of it. So was there a particular reason why you felt like you needed to stop?
Uh, just I guess lack of passion, lack of focus on it. I was doing other things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it happens, you know what I'm saying? So, how was you able to get that passion back to say, you know what, I'm turning around and doing it? I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, I do the music too. About 3 to 4, 5 years. I think it's 3 years off, 5 years before I actually wrote anything. You know what I mean? So I took 3 years off, started really getting back into the music business side of it, and then it took me, up to that fifth year before I started writing. So for you, what would you say is the what really drove you to do that?
Going out there and doing it and seeing results and seeing people like it, or talking to different people and letting them just hear something and saying they like it, and then it just one of those things that'll come back to you. It's like
Right,
if you go exercise, you get a lot of muscles. You know what I mean? Or you go play ball and score a lot of points.
right,
It's going to cause you to just want to go back out there with it. So that plus it was just like a natural passion. If it's something that is in you, it's a form of expression.
right, right, right,
So,
right.
when you lose that form of expression, you lose the form of yourself. So I guess that could be it too. I never really thought about it like that till you just said it.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes you don't really realize that you might have gotten away from something that might have made you happy, or at that time, the genre the genre at that time might have been nothing that you like. Like for me, I ain't really like it at the time that I decided to kind of lay low. You know what I'm saying? So then I realized that I felt like I got a gift and I gotta let people know and hear this thing. So that's why,
Yeah.
okay, let me turn around and do it and utilize it for whatever I can. Um, so let's talk about the author side of you. You said you were author, so have you written any books that is out now, or talk about that journey?
I wrote one Spectrums of Life. I got a play that I've written that I haven't put out. I haven't did, and since COVID, and it would have been like a musical, a poetic musical type thing. And I got a book that's almost done. It's all haiku poetry, and it's called Haiku. God bless you. And after that, I'm gonna work on maybe two short stories and one more book. But I mean, it's just none of that's in fruition. The only one I got out of Spectrums of Life. The
Okay.
play is written and Haiku. God bless you. Is pretty much done. But I might put maybe I don't know 30, 50 more pages in there, something like that, which really ain't hard to do.
I mean, do it, man. Be
Yeah,
consistent with the stuff
I
that
got
you.
an EP coming out right now, so I've
What's the
been
name
mainly
of the
on
EP?
that, man.
What's the name of the EP?
It don't have a name yet. It's got 8 songs. It's gonna have 8 songs on it. I'm done with about 5 or 6 of them. Then this song I got right here, did you have Start Somewhere? That's
Somewhere.
not one of them, and I did that with 88 Fingers. The whole EP is me and a guy out here named Santiago Jr.
Okay.
And I
So
mean, he
let's
makes
let's talk about this song though that you sent me. You know what I mean? Start somewhere. Like you say you did that with a dude, but with 88 fingers. Like talk about the whole concept behind that.
the whole concept is about how dudes be in the street, and how you evolve to get better.
Right,
How
right.
you evolve to build, and sometimes people fall out, and they doing whatever they doing, but you want to get to a certain point. So it's called You Got to Start Somewhere.
I feel you. I feel you. You said now, you sent me this track and we're gonna play it later, and it's not on the EP. So where can people find it, once they hear it?
Man, we actually he's ready to drop it. So it's going through some legal things with me and him, but it's gonna be on all major platforms. It's gonna be that one. We got another one, and I forget the name of it. It's weird too, man, because we got about three. Me and him got about 3 or 5 totally, and none of the stuff has came out yet. It's like COVID slowed everything down. So, but it'll be on all major platforms. I say probably the end of May, the beginning of June, and the
Right.
EP will be out the same way. EP will be out in probably about another 2, 3 weeks too,
Okay.
and that's just a whole separate thing. And then from there, I might put out a whole. Before the summer's out, I have a whole nother one, and one or two of those books will be out. So that's why I linked up with you guys because it's about time, that I
Start.
let it all out.
Yeah, man, we gonna definitely get with us. You know what I mean? We can help with the whole promo and marketing behind it. But yeah, man, I mean, that's definitely dope. It's you keeping something consistent, keeping something going, so people can constantly see something from you. Now, talk about your brand. You said, I mean, your name is Spoken V, Vern Hardy. But let's talk about how you decided or how you came up with your name within the music business.
I really came up with it on the poetry side of things, and it was weird. I was Malachi, spoken words, this, that. The guy was like, your last name, use your last name. So then it was, if I wasn't going to use Vern Hardy, it was like, well, just use the Spoking, and that's how I became Spoking V. So
Okay.
everything is branded, at Spoking V on Instagram. SpokingV.com is my domain. And that's
Right.
just like branding, that's just how you do make everything the same.
Right.
But it's
Right.
like anybody that comes under that umbrella as far as in poetry, they'll be Spoking whatever they are. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like how we came up with it. So it's not just me, it's pretty much anybody that's affiliated with anything that I'm doing.
So do they label themselves Spoking as well? You know what I mean? Do you have a movement like that, kind of like ASAP Mob and
Yeah, I do, but I mean, a lot of them are they doing other things right now too. So a lot, it's not they haven't put out any spoken word audio for none of that.
Okay,
So it's
well,
maybe like one or two dudes.
or at least it's on the way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Definitely on the way. What would you say is the biggest thing you learned, whether it be in the poetry lane or author lane or just making music lane?
What you said, to stay consistent and know how to handle your business. Really, the business side is really all of it. You make some things and people don't want really anything to do with it, but it's all about having your stuff copyrighted and whether you're making a film or whatever, your books having all your stuff right. So your ideas don't become somebody else's ideas so that you can capitalize on your product. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Whether you buying beats and you getting a license where as though, it's totally yours
Right.
and nobody gets nothing off the back end, just a lot of stuff like that.
Right. Let me ask you this. You said you worked, you got 88 keys on this one song. I think you mentioned
Yeah.
another producer on the EP. Like, do you work with specific producers only, or do you kind of look for multiple different types of producers and try to see how that goes?
Well, besides 88 Fingers and Santiago, I got a couple guys out of the UK.
Oh, word.
Bangladesh is one of them. Yeah, got young Borsky.
Okay.
I can't pronounce Boris something. I can't pronounce his whole name, but yeah, he's dope. And a lot of things do come out of the UK. So
Yeah.
besides that, though, not really, because in poetry, you get on stage, you're doing a lot of it a cappella.
Right. Right.
And with
Right. Right.
that, I haven't been, with COVID, I didn't do no shows. You might as well say once
Right.
COVID hit. So that's something that I'm starting to get back into now.
Right. I
You
mean,
know what I
we,
mean?
people been, trying to coin the phrase, which is something we've been doing forever, but we outside now. So now that we outside, you know, are you,
Yeah.
are you planning, to do more shows? I know you just said you just starting getting back, but do you have like anything planned in the future? Any dates that you looking for, looking to do or looking forward to doing?
I got a big thing with a comedian out here, Ricky Shackelford and Howard G. It's gonna be his birthday bash mid-May. That's one. I've been talking to some guys in New Jersey, the Raw Bunch, and they hold a lot of spoken word things. They're doing a lot of May and June, so it'll be mainly in the DMV area. You
Okay.
got you got a big club in DC. Pure Poetry Live is one. Baltimore has the Poetry Party. So the thing is to take it from right here, and what a lot of poets from right here really like to do is get to Atlanta. Everybody wants to get to Atlanta and get on that big stage in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think you can do it in multiple ways, right? You can go to Atlanta. Atlanta is like a melting pot of a whole bunch of artists. It's also saturated, but you can always find, they always support out there too. So it's good to really try to get that support out there, that they love that you really don't get anywhere else. But it's definitely something, for independent artists to go and take advantage of, especially if you can show that you could, stand out outside others, but also within your immediate area if you can't get out there. You know what I mean? Let the area start to love you. They start to put the word out, and with social media, you know, by the time they do that, next time you get somewhere else, they might already know about you because they're already talking. You know, so it's just one of those things where you got to use, you know, what you got to your advantage. You know, and you know, make lemonade when they keep throwing lemons at you. You know,
Yeah.
look at it. One question I like to ask everybody, you know, what I mean, is, and I know we might have asked you this before in the past under the Brand and Grind report, so I want to ask you again. It's after COVID, we doing, you know, we back outside, quote unquote, back outside. So what would you feel like is the, you know, is your biggest, or right now is your definition of grind?
Getting on stage, writing, you know, creating and getting on stage and making it happen.
Right,
That's really it, pretty much.
right. Cool. So what else you looking to do? You know, whether inside the music, poem, art lane, or is there anything else that you want to dive into, you know, as you progress down the line?
I wanna deal with movies and all of that too.
Right.
You know, maybe like a web series. That's pretty much the only other thing I want to do as far as entertainment is you know, my own movies and my own skits, that type stuff.
That's what's up, man. Do it. You ain't no time but the present, even if the, you know, even if the circumstances ain't exactly what you want them to be. You know what I mean? If you make room for it, it'll, you know, things will move around till you be able to do it. You know, so that's why I always tell people, regardless. You know what I mean? So you said it earlier, your social media and all that, but repeat it. How can people get to you if they looking to find you?
Expo King V on Instagram and Vern Hardy, VERNHARDY on Facebook. It's the
Okay,
best too. I really don't do Twitter none of that too much. And Twitter is I think it's Ed V Wizzle or something, but I really don't be on that.
man.
But Expo King V on Instagram.
Man, get back on any of those platforms that got, you know, that you got followers on, man. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, keep them engaged. You know, so that's what I would, you know, usually do with mine. And me personally, I don't have a million of them, so I can manage them correctly. You know what I mean? But you
You
know,
know, my IG got hacked, so it's like I started my new IG and I've been starting it all over, and that threw me off too. It was weird,
yeah,
and I found more people that I was like affiliated with, and they started telling me that theirs had got hacked because I really don't even know how it got hacked. I'll tell you the truth. It
yeah,
was just
it's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, I think I got a message from one of the hackers trying to get me to give them their cash app and all that. You know what I mean? Like the craziness.
Yeah, I think that might be how they do it. Like with Facebook, I had so many. I had like old guys I might have played ball with in high school. And they, hey, look what I found. You know what I mean? I found out that's a method. And they got a lot of people. So I really, you know, it's weird. But I never got hacked. My Facebook page was connected. My poetry Facebook page that I actually had built when I wrote my first book was
Yeah,
actually hacked with my IG. So that's no good. That's why I just say Vern Hardy on Facebook. But really, the only thing I'm really running off now is Expo King V on IG.
yeah.
But I haven't put anything out because I tell you, once I got hacked, man, I just threw everything off. I lost my interest.
Nah, I hear you.
You know, as far as like social media, because it's like, man, I built that joint all the way up,
Right, right,
and to just watch somebody selling Bitcoin on it, it was just crazy.
yeah, they trying, man. I got that two off. I got that two function authentication, whatever they call it. I don't be playing with my stuff. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand. I don't want to. I
Yep.
don't need, especially out of all the work on the different ones that I, you know, manage myself. So I can definitely
Yeah, I
understand.
had built it right to that point. So luckily, I didn't monetize it because had I just went through and been dropping content,
Right.
then they could have really got me. So it's like they didn't really, you know, it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
It threw my whole momentum. You know what I mean? Like I had followers in London and over here and all of that. So it just threw it all off because then people like, you know, the Bitcoin people might have tried to get them or they might have hacked their page too.
Right. 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 So let me ask you this question: any shout outs you got to anybody? Any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man, everybody in Aberdeen where I'm at, everybody in the Pure Poetry Baltimore. I mean the Poetry Party Baltimore, Pure Poetry Live, 88 Fingers, Santiago, the whole Untouchable, just man, everybody and anybody, man, the whole DMV.
Definitely. So listen, shout out to everybody out there, the whole DMV. We get ready to play this song, Starts Somewhere. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna give you the whole thing because we want you to go get it when it comes out. We just gonna give you enough to make sure you understand what's going on. What I like about this song before we play it is kind of, he's really mixing the poetry with, with hip hop, so it's definitely different. And you ain't gonna hear it. You ain't gonna hear it like you like what you hear right now out on this radio and all that. You know what I mean? So Start Somewhere. Let's get it.
Put all my trust in the Glock, they broke the mold that we came from. The cloth ran out of stock. I done ran up a honey bun from running the block. I flooded my watch, it's a bust down, the same as these thoughts. Who can I trust now? The doors keep opening. Frenemies, foul intentions. When they applaud you soaking in blood, leaked and hoping this ain't the ending. I can't pinpoint the beginning. I can't explain how we living. We need corporations, LLCs, positive motivation. But we had to start somewhere. The coast was clear, but it was darkness there. Let me start painting this portrait from here. I'm in the villa, I'm standing over a pot. Few of my niggas, a couple of thoughts. And we just getting it in. 12 came knocking, was watching me, manufacturing. Chance of them leaving is not happening. This is where the saga begins. Precipitation descends beneath the skies, and Alicia cries within. Dark clouds from falling men, congruently forming the thunder and loud is storming back to the process at hand. There's no warrant, they justification, primarily suspicion. Furthermore, they were forewarned our intentions was to break down pieces for distribution. They're legally pursuing, intruding the premises in search of evidence. An unknown witness as an informant, but information was vague. The statements they gave engraved us a debt to society. They labeled us a threat to society. Just stand 10 toes and always move silently. I owe myself that apology. We need
I can't hear you.
Oh, my fault. Make sure y'all go. Make sure you go check that out. I ain't giving y'all no more of that. I have myself on mute, didn't even realize it. This is what happens when you go live. Stuff live, you hear it live, it's focused live. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Start Somewhere, available in the future. You got a date on the release?
It'll probably be out the next week or two, I'll say. It'll be done. I wanted to have it out before me and you even went live. It was crazy. But it'll be out another week. I said another week or so it'll be out. And just for, the whole hold up, I'm going to drop one more called Patience is Virtue. And it'll be like a love song. It's dope too. And that's the producer from out in England, Young Borski. And right after that, I'll have a whole EP out. I mean, this is pretty much it, man. I'm going to let it all go.
I hear that.
Expect at least 15, 20 before the summer even comes.
Facts. Well, definitely drop it. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to you a bit, you know what I mean, and the grind and everything you've been doing. Is there any last words you want to get before we get out of here?
Oh, man, I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. And just like you said, man, Spoking V, at Spoking V on IG.
Yeah.
And, if you follow that, as soon as everything is out, they'll know.
I feel you. All right, y'all. I salute to everybody that's tuned in. If you missed it, we will have the YouTube up within the next 24 to 48 hours. Or if you're looking to just hit it audio, iHeartRadio will have it on there, on Spotify, on Apple, podcast soon as well. Just the audio version of this. We're going to just keep supporting the way we do on a daily basis. Holla at your boy, Shaw Cypher.